The lights dimmed slightly as laughter echoed from backstage. There was something electric in the air, an almost surreal energy that pulsed with both familiarity and the kind of anticipation only time can build. On the set of Live with Kelly and Mark, the morning show usually buzzing with celebrity interviews and lifestyle segments, today felt different. Today felt like homecoming. Kelly Ripa adjusted her mic, smoothing the edges of her blazer with the same confident ease she used to bring to her role as Hailey Vaughn on All My Children. Next to her, Mark Consuelos grinned, the charm he once channeled into Mateo Santos, Hailey's soulmate, still as palpable as ever. "Ready for this?" he asked, nudging her lightly. Kelly looked over with a spark in her eye. "I've been ready since 1995. The studio doors opened, and in walked Cameron Mathison, tall, smiling, and just as disarmingly handsome as he was when he first appeared on All My Children as Ryan Lavery. For a beat, the room stood still, as if Pine Valley had come back to life in a quiet corner of Manhattan. "Cam," Kelly and Mark called out in unison, abandoning their seats to pull their longtime friend into a group hug. The three shared a laugh, loud, unfiltered, and full of years that passed too quickly. "I feel like I should be carrying a bouquet of roses and dealing with a secret twin," Cameron joked, arms slung around their shoulders. Kelly laughed. "Or waking up from a coma with amnesia." Mark added, "Don't forget, it's only a real reunion if someone fakes their own death." The trio dissolved into laughter again, half reminiscing, half marveling that these plot lines, once the daily bread, now sounded like wild stories told around a campfire. The Pine Valley days. To understand what this reunion meant, you'd have to go back decades, to the heyday of All My Children, a beloved American soap opera that turned everyday drama into operatic spectacle and made household names of its stars. Hailey and Mateo weren't just a couple, they were a supercouple. Viewers watched their fiery chemistry turn into one of the most memorable love stories in soap history. Meanwhile, Ryan Lavery came crashing into the scene in the late 90s, stirring hearts and wreaking just the right amount of havoc. But behind the dramatics and dreamy lighting, the cast of All My Children became a true family. On-set birthdays, holidays spent in trailers, marathon shooting days that turned into inside jokes, all of it created bonds that time, and even Hollywood, couldn't break. "It wasn't just a job," Cameron said during the segment. "We grew up together, we got married, had kids, built lives, and still found time to do 6 pages of emotionally devastating material before lunch." Kelly nodded. "It was our own little universe. And I think, deep down, we knew it was special even back then." The life since. After leaving All My Children, all three launched into new chapters. Kelly Ripa transformed into a daytime TV powerhouse, balancing interviews and motherhood with quick wit and timeless poise. Mark Consuelos found his own success on screen, carving out roles in Riverdale and various series, while also stepping into the co-host chair alongside Kelly, a full-circle moment no soap writer could have plotted better. Cameron Mathison, ever the Renaissance man, took on hosting gigs, movie roles, and even shared his battle with cancer with graceful honesty, becoming a voice of hope and resilience for many. "We've all lived so many lives since Pine Valley," Cameron reflected. "But there's something about that time, that place, that connects us. It's part of our DNA." On set, off script. The episode was more than an interview. It became a spontaneous stroll down memory lane. Producers rolled clips. Hailey in a leather jacket, eyes brimming with fire. Mateo's dramatic proposal, Ryan's infamous motorcycle entrance. The studio audience roared. Mark shook his head. "Who gave me those sideburns?" Kelly smirked. "They were in, for about 5 minutes. But beneath the laughter, there was something else, a shared emotion, unspoken but deeply felt. Nostalgia, gratitude, and a love not just for the show, but for each other." At one point, the trio sat quietly watching a clip of a wedding scene. The camera zoomed in on Hailey's tear-streaked face as Mateo vowed eternal love. "That was our real wedding rehearsal," Kelly revealed, voice soft. "The writers didn't know, but the emotions, they weren't all acting." Mark looked over, visibly moved. "You were always better at crying on cue." Cameron smiled. "It wasn't on cue, it was real, a legacy that lives on." The reunion wasn't just a tribute, it was a reminder of how stories shape us. For many fans, All My Children wasn't just television. It was comfort during hard times. It was the thing that brought generations together at lunch tables and living rooms. It was connection. And for the cast, it was the beginning of everything. I think what made All My Children so magical, Kelly said, wasn't just the drama, it was the humanity. We told stories about addiction, abuse, mental illness, love, loss, and we did it with heart. Cameron added, even when the plotlines were outrageous, the emotions were always real. We cared about the work, about the audience, about each other. What's next? As the segment wrapped, a cheeky teaser flashed across the screen. Could Pine Valley live again? Kelly raised an eyebrow. Never say never. Mark leaned in conspiratorially. There's a script floating around. Somewhere. Cameron grinned. I've got a leather jacket and a motorcycle. Just saying. And just like that, the moment passed, but the magic lingered. In an age of reboots and revivals, maybe Pine Valley isn't as far away as it seems. Maybe, just maybe, there's one more story left to tell. As the cameras stopped rolling and the applause died down, the three old friends stood center stage, arms wrapped around each other once again. Not as Haley, Mateo, and Ryan, but as Kelly, Mark, and Cameron. And that, unscripted, unfiltered, and undeniably real, was the best story of all.